We are what we repeatedly do.
Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Aristotle said that over 2,000 years ago, and yet, most people are still living like it's news. Here's what's wild. Right now, two people wake up at the same time, same city, same alarm, same morning light coming through the window. One of them, 5 years from now, will be financially free, physically healthy, and genuinely happy. The other one will be doing the same job, the same scrolling, the same quiet frustration, wondering why nothing ever changes. Same starting line, completely different destinations. The difference isn't talent, it isn't luck, it isn't even intelligence. It's 10 small behaviors done quietly every single day. This video is about those 10 behaviors, and I promise you, at least 3 of them are going to make you uncomfortable because you'll realize you've been doing the opposite. Here's the thing nobody tells you about habits. They don't feel like they're working. That's actually the whole trick. A habit is the most patient thing in the universe. It just waits. Every day you do it, it compounds. Every day you skip it, it also compounds, just in the other direction. Benjamin Franklin kept a small notebook, 13 virtues. Every night, he'd mark whether he lived up to each one. He did this for decades. He didn't become one of the most influential humans in history despite that boring routine. He became influential because of it. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's partner, one of the greatest minds in modern investing, once said the secret to a good life is simple. Go to bed a little smarter than you woke up. Every single day. That's it. That sounds almost insultingly simple, but in 40 years of doing it, that man became a billionaire and a philosopher. The habit wasn't reading the right book. It was the daily commitment to getting slightly less wrong. Now, here are the 10 habits. Habit 1. Wake up before the world starts talking. The average person wakes up and immediately hands their brain to other people. News, Instagram, WhatsApp, someone else's agenda. A 2019 study from the University of British Columbia found that people who check their phones within 5 minutes of waking reported significantly higher stress levels throughout the entire day, even when the content wasn't negative. The information didn't even have to be bad. Just receiving it first thing put the brain on defense mode. High performers, from Tim Cook to Oprah to the late Kobe Bryant, share one pattern. They own the first hour. Not for productivity, not for hustle, for orientation, for deciding what they care about before the world tells them what to react to. Wake up 30 minutes earlier than you think you need to. Sit in that silence. Your future self will feel the difference before your present self understands why. Habit 2. Write one sentence about what you want. Not a journal, not a 5-year plan, not a vision board. One sentence every morning. Dr. Gail Matthews at Dominican University ran a study where participants who wrote down their goals were 42% more likely to achieve them than those who just thought about them. 42% from one sentence. The brain is not a goal-setting machine. It's a pattern recognition machine. When you write something down, you tell your brain, this is real. Watch for it. It's the same reason Amazon writes the press release before building the product. You name it, then you build toward it. One sentence. What do you want your life to look like? Write it every morning until it stops feeling like fiction. Habit 3. Move your body, even if it's embarrassing. Not a gym membership, not a marathon training plan, movement, daily, any kind. A landmark 2018 study published in the Lancet Psychiatry analyzed 1.2 million people across the United States. The finding? People who exercised, any exercise, even walking, reported 43% fewer bad mental health days per month than those who didn't. More than antidepressants in many cases, more than salary increases, more than social media breaks. Movement is the oldest antidepressant on earth, and it's free. Here's the hidden villain. Modern life is designed to eliminate movement. Elevators, delivery apps, cars. The more convenient things get, the more sedentary we become, and the more we outsource the one thing our brains desperately need. 10 minutes outside every day. That's the minimum viable habit that changes everything downstream. Habit 4. Read 10 pages a day. 10 pages sounds like nothing, but 10 pages a day is 3,650 pages a year. That's roughly 12 to 15 books. The average American reads fewer than 4 books a year. The average CEO reads 52. That's not a coincidence. That's not because rich people have more time. They almost certainly have less. It's because they made a decision about how information compounds. Warren Buffett spends 80% of his day reading. He's called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, but his actual competitive edge is compounded knowledge. Reading 10 pages a day won't make you Buffett, but it will make you a fundamentally different person in 5 years than the person who watched 10 more minutes of Netflix instead. Pick books that make you slightly uncomfortable. That's where the growth is hiding. Habit 5. Practice the 24-hour rule before reacting. Abraham Lincoln wrote angry letters, scathing, brilliant, devastating letters. Then he put them in a drawer and never sent them. They found stacks of unsent letters after his death. He called it his hot letter strategy. Write the fury, satisfy the emotion, then sleep on it. By morning, the need to send it had almost always disappeared. A 2017 study from Harvard Business Review found that reactive communication, emails, texts, decisions made in emotional states, costs businesses an estimated $359 billion per year in lost productivity and relationship damage. But it's not just business. Every relationship you've ever damaged, every opportunity you've regretted, probably had a moment where a pause would have changed everything. The 24-hour rule is simple. Before responding to anything that upset you, wait 1 day. Not forever, just 1 day. The emotion passes. The wisdom stays. Habit 6. Do one thing you've been avoiding. Procrastination isn't laziness. Psychologists now widely agree it's actually an emotion regulation problem. We avoid tasks that make us feel anxious, bored, or incompetent. We reach for tasks that feel rewarding. It's not about time management. It's about fear management. A 2007 study by Dr. Piers Steele, who spent a decade studying procrastination, found that 95% of people admit to procrastinating and that chronic procrastinators earn significantly less, have worse health outcomes, and report lower life satisfaction. Not because they're less talented, because they let the avoided things slowly drain their mental energy every single day it stays undone. The fix is almost stupidly small. Do the one avoided thing first. Before email, before coffee if you have to, before the day gives you an excuse. Mark Twain called it eating the frog. If your job is to eat a frog, eat it first thing in the morning. And if your job is to eat 2 frogs, eat the bigger one first. One avoided thing, done daily, clears psychological debt faster than any therapy session. Habit 7. Spend time with people who pull you forward. In 2000, Harvard researchers concluded the most significant predictor of a person's long-term happiness was not money, not health, not achievement. It was the quality of their relationships. Not the number, the quality. But here's the part we rarely talk about. Relationships aren't just emotionally important. They are economically and behaviorally contagious. A landmark study by Nicholas Christakis and James Fowler tracked over 12,000 people for 32 years. They found that behaviors, obesity, smoking, happiness, wealth habits, spread through social networks like viruses. If your 3 closest friends are financially irresponsible, you are statistically likely to develop financially irresponsible patterns, regardless of your own beliefs about money. This isn't about cutting people off harshly. It's about gravitating toward people who are already living the life you want to build. You don't just become what you think. You become who you're near. Habit 8. Track one number every day. Peter Drucker, the godfather of modern business strategy, said, "What gets measured gets managed." But here's what most people miss. He didn't say what gets obsessed over. He said measured. Simply, consistently. One number a day. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's connected to something you care about. Your net worth, your daily steps, the number of pages you wrote, the amount you saved, the number of vegetables you ate. A 2015 study in the journal Obesity found that people who tracked their food intake lost twice as much weight as those who didn't, without changing anything else about their diet. Not working longer, not working harder, just measuring. Measurement creates honesty, and honesty is the starting point of every meaningful change. Pick one number, track it every day. Watch how awareness alone starts bending behavior. Habit 9. Sleep like it's your most important meeting. Here's where modern culture quietly destroys people. We celebrate exhaustion. We glorify the 4 a.m. grind. We wear sleep deprivation like a badge of honor, and it is quite literally killing us. Dr. Matthew Walker, neuroscientist and author of Why We Sleep, summarized a decade of research. There is no major psychiatric condition where sleep isn't disrupted, and chronic sleep deprivation is linked to increased risk of Alzheimer's, heart disease, obesity, and depression. The CDC reports that 35% of American adults regularly sleep fewer than 7 hours. That's a third of the country running on a cognitively and physically impaired baseline every single day, and calling it productivity. Thomas Edison promoted sleeping 4 hours a night and called more sleep a sign of laziness. He also had a secret. He napped multiple times a day. Sleep isn't a reward for finishing your work. It's the fuel that makes the work worth anything. Protect it. Structure your evening around it. It is the single highest leverage recovery habit that exists. Habit 10. Reflect for 5 minutes every night. The Stoics had a practice. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, the most powerful man on earth at the time, ended every night with 3 questions written in his private journal. What did I do well today? What did I do poorly? What will I do differently tomorrow? Those journals became meditations, one of the most read philosophy books in human history, written not for publication, written for himself. For daily calibration, Jeff Bezos kept journals tracking his thinking and decisions before Amazon became Amazon. Ray Dalio built an entire principle system from years of writing down what went wrong and why. A 2014 study from Harvard Business School found that employees who spent 15 minutes at the end of each workday reflecting on their performance improved 23% faster than those who didn't reflect at all. Not working longer, not working harder, just pausing to look at what happened. Reflection is the compound interest of self-awareness. Skip it, and you repeat the same year 10 times. Practice it, and every year becomes a different chapter. Now, before we close, I have to be honest with you. None of these habits are magic. They won't protect you from bad luck, bad markets, illness, loss, or the random unfairness that life occasionally delivers to everyone, regardless of how disciplined they are. Habits increase probability. They do not guarantee outcomes. The person who does all 10 of these things could still have a hard year, a hard decade. Life doesn't grade on a curve for effort. But here's what I know. The person who has these habits embedded in their daily rhythm will recover faster, will make better decisions under pressure, will compound their advantages over time in ways that are invisible until they're undeniable. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, put it brilliantly. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Goals are just wishes with a deadline. Systems, daily habits, are the architecture of a life. The most powerful thing you took away from this video isn't one habit. It's the awareness that your daily decisions are not neutral. Every choice you make today is a vote for the person you are becoming. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be slightly better today than you were yesterday. Do that enough days in a row, and you'll wake up one morning in a life that surprised even you. If this hit home, share it with someone who needs it. Drop in the comments which of these 10 habits is the one you're starting tomorrow. And if you want to go deeper, the next video is already waiting for you. See you there.